Our top focus on WION right now. U.S. President Donald Trump held a meeting in the White House Situation Room, and that's on the nuclear deal talks with Iran, scheduled to take place on Saturday in Oman. According to an Axios report, the high-level meeting was convened amid internal discussions within the Trump administration on adopting the best approach in the next round of negotiations. Mulling over potential concessions the U.S. could make or avoid during the talks with Iran this Saturday. The meeting on strategizing with U.S. position was attended by U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, and other top officials. The report said that both Vance and Witkoff were of the opinion that diplomacy could lead to a nuclear deal between the two countries. And to make it possible, the U.S. should be willing to make some compromises with Iran. Whereas other senior members of the administration, including Rubio and Waltz, were highly skeptical of the viewpoint and batted for a maximalist approach to the negotiations. This while President Trump has been sending out mixed signals to Tehran that he wants to resolve the crisis through diplomacy, but will strike Iran's nuclear facilities if an agreement could not be reached. The White House refused to share the details of the Situation Room meeting, but agreed that the maximum pressure campaign on Iran continues. And Trump has made it clear that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Soon enough, Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff clarified in his post on X that Tehran must stop and eliminate its nuclear enrichment program. And this is a U-turn because Steve Witkoff contradicted his suggestion a day earlier, wherein he said that Iran could enrich uranium at a low level to produce energy. And in the latest that is coming in at this point of time is that Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi has made it clear that Iran's enrichment of uranium as a part of its nuclear program is non-negotiable. This as Tehran's talks with Washington on the future of Iranian nuclear program continue and is all set to take place this Saturday. And well, on the broadcast, we are now being joined by Reza Hatami. He is a political commentator and is joining us live from Tehran. Welcome to WION, Mr. Hatami.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Mr. Hatami, a lot has happened before the round 2 of talks between the U.S. and Iran. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has said that Iran is neither optimistic nor pessimistic about the talks. Your assessment as of now on the Iran-U.S. nuclear deal talks slated to take place on Saturday?
Yes, the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei, who has the final say over all key state matters, cautiously gave his public backing to the negotiations. He said that the first round of talks has been positive, although he said that he deeply has mistrust and is deeply pessimistic about the U.S. side. Let's not forget that it was Iran and the United States that made a deal in 2015, and the United States unilaterally withdrew from that agreement, while Tehran has remained in that agreement as of now. However, Khamenei said that these talks could or could not reach a conclusion. And in Iran, there is a rare consensus over the talks. The main political movements in the country have backed these talks. But the stances, the switch in the stances by the U.S. side have made the talks very complicated. As you said in the introduction, Witkoff, in 12 hours, just in 12 hours, changed the U.S. position because Iran will not accept to withdraw its right to enrich uranium on its soil. Iran is not likely to accept that it should abandon enriching uranium on its soil, right. And this could potentially lead to a deadlock in the talks.
Right, Mr. Hatami, you do speak of Witkoff's U-turn, and you spoke about how that would act as a stumbling block during the talks on Saturday. And the latest that's coming at this point of time is also that Iran's foreign minister has said that uranium enrichment is non-negotiable. And of course, this comes after Steve Witkoff urged halt. At this point of time, do you think Iran will be able to negotiate itself out of this situation when it sits down for talks with the United States of America this Saturday?
Well, the public stances of Iran is that it will not accept the right to abandon nuclear enrichment. As you said, Araghchi today made it clear, absolutely clear, that this was non-negotiable. Araghchi also slammed the opposing and contradictory stances of the United States. He added that the US's real intention will be made clear in the talks as the two sides are expected to convene again in Oman on Saturday. So the real stances of the United States, if the U.S. decision is to not allow Iran to have enrichment on its soil, then probably we're looking at a deadlock. Araghchi also said that if the United States comes with a positive stance, progress could be reached. But if they want to pressure Iran, that pressure would go nowhere, and Iran will not bow under U.S. pressure.
Okay, what is the positive stance according to Iran at this point of time?
Well, the positive stance is that the United States should accept Iran's right to enrich uranium. This is something that paved the way for the 2015 nuclear deal, because the Obama administration back then also said that Iran shouldn't enrich uranium. But then the United States changed its stance and allowed Iran to enrich uranium, agreed that Iran can enrich uranium on its soil, and that paved the way for the success of the talks. Iran also doesn't want the United States to include other issues like Iran's regional policies or Iran's missile program in the talks. Iran is open to impose limits and curbs on its nuclear program, but will not abandon the right to enrich uranium, and will not discuss issues like regional policies or its missile program in the negotiations.
Right. And that's exactly what the Iranian foreign minister also said just a short while ago. My last question to Mr. Hatimi. Araghchi is also likely to visit Moscow ahead of the second meeting with the United States of America. And there are also proposal of Russia accepting Iran's enriched uranium. Do you think Russia will likely play a positive role in the talks?
Well, Iran and Russia have strategic relationships. The two countries have recently signed a comprehensive strategic agreement. And it's interesting that Araghchi is carrying a message from Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei to Vladimir Putin in these talks. We don't know the contents of the message, but it would be very important. However, Iran is not likely to accept moving its enriched uranium out of its soil to any country, Russia or elsewhere, because if the United States pulls out of the talks again, then Iran should start enriching uranium from scratch if it has moved all of its enriched content out of the country.
Right, Mr. Hatimi, thanks very much for joining us on WION and sharing your insights with us on this.